Welcome. I'm Kenneth Andre, Tengen Jitsu Master and Mystic Messenger. Everything that I share and say and do is for a reason. If that sounds like a contradiction, there isn't. Investigate further. Hope you're all doing well out there. So the strange occurrences continue. I've had a very strange day. I've got a lot to share with you. And it's been mind-blowing. The synchronicities are absolutely been crazy. And it started with this image. Okay. Now, I don't put myself above anyone or below anyone. I'm part of something very ancient. Spirit is taking me through something I don't quite understand, to be honest with you. It's like I'm coming full circle, a disclosure, initiation, and a witnessing of transformation. There is a shift that is occurring. I noticed a new energy in me. And with what I've gone through this morning, I'm like, oh my goodness me. We're in May and something on another level is occurring. It's present. So be present and pay attention. So, as I mentioned, I received this esoteric zodiac. I love symbology, and the images that you see in the zodiac is esoteric. Last night, I noticed Scorpio opposite from Taurus, the bull. And it had the numbers 13, 14 and 15. That jumped out at me. Also, Scorpio opposite from Taurus, which I was saying to myself, I should know this, but it jumped out at me on a deeper level last night, and it brought to mind the image from the end scene of I, Pet Goat 2, where we get the cloud shaped as a hand. Remember, I kept seeing 5Ps everywhere, and I felt as though Father was pointing to May, the 5th month. And so the hand symbol we get in the cloud, was it pointing to Taurus? Because opposite is the symbol or image of Scorpio. Scorpion. You can see the scorpion. Now we also have the symbol, the image of the stone head from Easter Island, connected with resurrection. And we had the eclipse occur over Easter Island, if you remember. We have the depiction of Christ in a boat, and we have a symbol connected to Anubis, the head of Anubis. Was the hand, 5 fingers, connected to Taurus, May, because opposite we get the image of a scorpion. Okay. Now, last year we talked about May, all these connections. My mum is called May, etc. And yet we grew exponentially. We have been going through a rehearsal, receiving disclosure and preparation, etc. And so there could be, and I believe that it's already began, we're already part of something very unique that's now taking place. In the invisible, in spirit, during May, we could see bigger shifts. And I'm already seeing it, as I'm going to share with you in this video. I've got to slow down. Again, back to this image. So last night when I received this image, I only focused on Taurus and the opposite Scorpio. Okay, there's a reason why I say that. That jumped out at me last night looking at the zodiac. Oh yeah, Scorpio is opposite to Taurus. Now, Cancer, right? The Cancer constellation is not a crab, it's the scarab, connected with the skull and heaven. I'm just going to share that first, all right? Now, in this image, you'll see there is a creature like a bird man. right? I thought of Thoth or the Christ, Horus, right? Sat on a stone chair. In Cancer, now, for those who don't know, the reason it's a scarab, because these constellations are to do with the land, not the water constellations. If you didn't know, they do try to hide things. Learning of the Egyptian mythologies and secrets, I know that they interpreted the constellation Cancer as the scarab, for those who didn't know. Okay. So here we go. My son says to me this morning, Dad, I want to go and walk around the ghost tunnels, which is an old fort. It was a defense against ships, which was a dangerous place to go and walk around. And it's on Portland. It's up the road from me. We drive along this road from the mainland onto this island. Okay. And we were walking around these areas here. Now, this map was minimized when I first went on Google. Okay. Now, I love symbology and having a heightened depth perception when it comes to symbols. I noticed there was a shape of a head, right, in this image. And this is where me and my son were walking today. I'll share another image with you. All right. And me and my son were walking around these two locations here. Okay. So we go out for this walk. We go towards Portland Bill, where there's a big Egyptian obelisk, and we have some breakfast. Then we go to what's termed as the Ghost Tunnels, which is an old ruined fort. Okay, here is an old picture of it. Okay, and there was these big cannons that would be located here, and it would destroy any enemy ships coming towards the island. And these are like big bunkers. There's these rooms and chambers all around the area. Now, this area, it was so run down, it was dangerous. You had to be careful of needles. There was trolleys. There was fly tipping going on where people were dumping their furniture and rubbish. It was really run down. Graffiti, you name it, it was there. And you couldn't access all the rooms. I used to go up there to do training with my martial arts. But even then, I had to be careful. So you couldn't just walk through the rooms that were up there in this fort. It was caged off with rubble. It is a bit of a historical site, but you really wouldn't want to go around with your family without worrying all the time. There'd be these issues that would constantly keep arising because of the state of the location. My son says to me this morning, Dad, I want to walk around the ghost tunnels. Now, it's called the ghost tunnels because there's these tunnels, there's these cages. It can get quite freaky, especially at night when you go through them. There's been these strange stories with the location, etc. I get up there and I notice the area is completely clean. All right. No rubbles, no cages. They've literally restored the area. Right, bear with me. We now have access. We now have access. Get your words out. We've got access to all the rooms and the tunnels. There's no glass, no rubble, no cages. And I'm like, wow, this is absolutely amazing. This is a good sign of restoration and healing. And I saw what appeared to be these soldiers. I was like, man, they're taking it serious here. And I'm looking at one of them and I'm thinking, he's not even moving. I mean, they are really taking their job serious. I get closer and it's a steel cutout. Right? It's a steel cutout. It looks amazing. I was thinking to myself, I'm glad I didn't say anything to that steel cutout at a distance. My son wouldn't have been impressed. But I was just taken back by the site. It was all clean and like restored for tourists. And I was like, when did this happen? This is a good sign. Now remember, my son is leading the way, just like he did not so long ago when we went through the two pillows. And he goes up this mound next to this site. And there's a stone quarry. And this is an old picture. And we stand in a location like up here, right, looking down at the quarry. Only today, when I looked at the quarry, it was completely empty and deep. But there was only 2 trucks, looked like they were leaving, and that was it. And I got the impression as though the deep had been emptied. That's what come to mind. I was literally looking down into the bottomless pit, into this deep quarry where it'd been finished. That was so strange. Here I am out of the deep, out of the pit, looking down in it, and there's nothing there now. It's funny that in the book of Enoch, he mentions about hell, literally, and the Bible, literally give up the dead, all right, coming out of the bottomless pit. So that come to mind today. Then my son said, let's go and look at the stone statue quarry. There's this part of Portland where there's these statues from masonry, and it's amazing. You can go around and look at all these statues. So I was like, statues, and I was like, yeah, let's go and have a look. Now bear this in mind, this morning we're told it's going to be a hot day, and it has been a hot day, but things changed when we got to this site. So we get to the statue stones, these what do you call them? Bear with me. Sculptures, okay? Do apologise. Sculptures. So we get to this site, and there's a table with these stone seats. Now this is an old picture. And I go to the table, I put my hands on the table, and I notice there's two rocks or stones in the middle of the table in this like bowl. I put my hands on the table and I pray. Then we look around the area. Bear with me. Oh, found it. And there was this stone chair. And I felt led by spirit, sit in it. And so I did. All right. I sat in that stone chair. It's only when I get back home, I went back over that zodiac. Right, with Cancer. And that creature kind of reminds me, like I said, of Thoth or Horus. Of course, that jumped out at me when I got home. Now, we continue around this area. All right. We go walking around up here as well. And the wind picks up. And I look at the sun. And there's a halo around the sun. The sun looks like that today. I was like, what's going on? The wind is picking up. And there's a halo around the sun. Like something is covering the sun. It's getting eerie. Right. Again, my son is leading the way. And I mentioned about this attraction last year. There's these stone mazes erected around the area. Right, this is an old picture. Okay, there's these stones that make a maze up to the centre, which is connected to the mind. my son said, let's go look at these. Remember them mazes, Dad? Let's go and have a look, see if they're still there. They're not. They were totally, should we say, dismantled. Stones everywhere. And I was like, this is a good sign. No more maze. All right. Last time when we went there, the stones were set up, making the perfect image of the maze, and we stood in the middle. Now the maze is disappeared. So my son says, Dad, look, there's these steps over there. There's a plinth at the top. We can jump off it. It's leading up to nowhere, like into the sky. And he mentioned about these steps in woods, these stories where people find these steps, they go up them in the woods and they disappear. And I'm looking at the sun thinking, should I say anything? Like, sun, the wind is picking up and there's a halo around the sun. And you want to go up these steps and jump off the plinth? I'm like, okay, so that's what we're doing today. And off we go. So there's these steps. We go up these steps. And at the top, when you get to the top, you come up the top of these steps and there's this plinth and you jump off. Right, now, bear in mind, the atmosphere is changing. There's a halo around the sun. The wind is picked up. It's getting kind of eerie, but I'm okay. Father's with me. You know, I'm like, let's just do this. I'm going through it. No fear. You know, I wouldn't let anything arise in any manner whatsoever. I'm following my son. So we jump off the plinth. We jump off and there's these stones. And we go walking through the stones. Well, he walks on one side, I walk on the other, and we walk past these stones. Only towards the end, we crossed, which was strange, and then we followed this path round to a circle of big stones. These, right? And we went in the middle. And we talk a bit about these stones. Then we start heading back to the car. Now, as we go back into the quarry, where there's these statues and what's it called? Sculptures. So I got a lot I want to get across. I noticed on one of the rocks there is a fish. Then before we get to the car, there's this one sculpture or statue or whatever you call it, right, of a boat. And I stand in the middle. Of course, getting home, thinking about that image, the esoteric imagery in the Zodiac, I'm thinking of this depiction of Christ in the boat. Okay, with the hand, 5, Taurus, and Scorpio. And the stone head from Easter Island. I get home, going over this whole journey this morning. I start doing some fitness and I lay back on the bed, look up at the ceiling, and I see a fish. Remember what's in the boat with the depiction of Christ? Fish. He's a fisher of men. Let's not forget, we got Mercury and Venus in Pisces with the fish. Right? With the sun in Aries. I was seeing these images today through my journey, lining up with the heavens. And with that Zodiac, we've got Mars in the Cancer constellation, which is the scarab, which is connected to the chair I sat on today. There was these synchronicities and parallels that were just mind-blowing. Let me see if I can find it. There's the chair. So I thought I'd share that with you. Record and document. Today, going through this quarry sculpture and statues, and there's all sorts there, which was paralleling everything that I've been through with my awakening since 2011, with the celestial events taking place right now with the luminaries in their reverent locations. I'm like, everything is converging. We get off of Portland and the weather clears up. The wind calms back down. There's no more halo. That's how strange my day's been. Remember, all takes place in God's temple. Okay? Mind. The old Egyptian axiom. All is mind. The synchronicities with the numbers, with the symbols, absolutely mind-blowing. Like I said, I feel there is this new energy in me. We're in May. It's high watch. We're already part of something that's moving, part of this transition. As we go forward, keep watch. We could see extreme transformations occur with ourselves and the world that we find ourselves in. I'm Kenneth Andre, Tongue Jitsu Master and Mystic Messenger. What comes next? Restoration, healing. He makes all things new. Your eternal heavenly home is not made of human hands. All your investments for the harvest is for the angels. This is what we've been watching for. It could be here. With what I am going through and seeing, we are now shifting. Love you guys. Have a good day.